I can call her right here, right now. Not phone number. I'm calling her on Instagram. Hey, Charity. Hey, are you okay?
I'm okay. I was praying for you guys. When Rallo told me something, y'all had a falling out that night, but I didn't get all the information. I just prayed to you guys. I said that was just a dangerous situation.
Now, Charity, let me slow you down real quick. He told you that we had a falling out that night, correct?
No, he told me early in the morning, like in the AM, he called me and told me that things went down and that he tried to shut down some white guy. And that's what I meant when I'm saying about the enemy coming to try and stop.
No, okay, now I'm going to stop you there, because what you just said is more evidence, because he knew that morning that things wasn't right between us. But he waited until I put out a video to even address the situation. That shows guilt on his behalf. And
that might have been my fault. I told him that he shouldn't do any streams about it. So he said that he had receipts or whatever, because I wasn't there. I said, but especially with Ringo's wife there, that could have been very dangerous. I mean, I know it's a Caribbean state. You know, I have family out there.
Yeah.
That's why we even talked about North Carolina. He's still talking about Orlando and stuff, because I was out there before too. But I only started talking to him recently. He is very fast. One thing we talked about I don't like.
What's that?
He wants to do things fast.
Right.
You know, he was talking about women always around him and stuff, but you know, I try to tell him, you know, I'm not that girl.
So he was trying to rush you into something intimate.
Yes. And I told him I'm not like that. I mean, this is all new for me. You know, I was raised in the church. I told him my situation. You know, I explained to y'all many years ago. But it scared me off of, you know, took a lot of time for me. And everything. But I did tell him that maybe he shouldn't speak out about it or do any he shouldn't address this online. This is not something that he wants to talk about online, especially if he said you guys didn't talk about.
Right. So you were just looking out for him, and
no, I was looking out for all of y'all.
All of us.
I didn't think it was wise for him to come out again just like that. Being he just came back.
Right.
That was my thing. I'm like, you just came back. It's not wise officially. It's not wise. Thinking about everything we have so-called going on. He told me that week, you know, deadlines and stuff, like you were saying about contracts and whatever. But he didn't disclose any of that to me, and I didn't ask because it's not my place.
Right.
But
so let me stop you. You just said something key just now, man. You were trying to tell him not to go back, that it didn't make sense, and he said he had contracts and deadlines. Now, Now, that's interesting, because he didn't have a contract with us on anything. There was no deadline.
It wasn't. It's not a contract with you guys, but he didn't. It was about something up here that he has to get done before he goes back to Orlando. But he didn't. You know, I didn't ask or divulge into that information. You know, because I'm trying to relocate, but I'm back in New York for physical disability that happened to me. I told you I was in the hospital about a month ago, or 2 months ago now.
Right.
So, I don't want to be in New York any longer than I have to be. And, you know, like you said, sometimes family or people close to you can drag you down and put you in a bad situation, which is what happened to me and prolong my stay. Besides my health.
I understand.
But I did tell him that he should not address whatever he was talking about. He said he had receipts and he was going to try and contact you guys. And I was like, well, yes, pray about it and contact. I said you definitely shouldn't have been videoing and doing things You know, he was doing
right. I understand.
Like,
You were just trying to make sure it didn't get messy, and I totally understand that. Now, what I really want to understand is, you know, what he does for a living, and you made it clear he didn't dispose that type of information.
No, he was just trying to get real close, real fast. I'm like, I want to get to know you, but I don't want to know you
like that. So I'm not
that girl. I'm like, he had a show last night, and he was talking about some other girl that he met out there that he's still out or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to be like a jealous person. I know it's biblical to have a wife or more wives as long as you can take care of them and everything. But he likes to do things quickly. So I'm like, I'm not that girl. I mean, when I came to you, I came with my whole medical file and stuff. I don't have anything. I haven't been around the block. I don't have a body count. And, you know, it's things that I try to talk about with him that, you know, it always seems like he exposed me twice online. I talked about that with him. Like, he told people stuff about me. I met up with him a couple of weeks ago, and he put stuff out about me, like, online that I didn't know about.
Wow.
And I told him about it. I like the choice. I'm not a very, you know, you're making things look like, I don't know if you know Zats or somebody, but he was talking to some guy, Zats, when we were going out, and he made it look like he couldn't talk to Zats because some things were going to go down that didn't go down. And he talks like, you know, that I don't like. So, plus, my hygiene is, you know, I think he got offended the night before we had this talk about maybe he shouldn't go back out. I was like, I would show him something he should use for his mouth and see if it be, you know, I care about you and I'd rather tell you to your face. I would tell my mom, you know, you have morning breath, or, you know, your breath is not fresh. And,
right.
You know, you need to handle that because, you know, you don't want people talking about you behind your back. And I'm going to get offended if somebody's talking about
his hygiene. So let me slow down. So his hygiene, wasn't up to par. And
yeah, that's a problem for me.
Right. And he was basically pushing up on you. You were uncomfortable in this situation.
And I told him so.
Right, and you told him you were uncomfortable, and he kept did he keep making advances at you, or he respected your boundaries?
He respected my boundaries to a little bit, but he's still very pushy. And I had to talk to him about that last night when he said that he's gonna. I told him, no, wait, don't make any content online about this, because especially with Ringo's wife there, that could have got real ugly. If that was my dad, I'm surprised, you know, y'all all could have been carrying in that state. I mean, it could have got real ugly, especially with his wife there. That man, whoever that guy was, might not have left that situation. It could have got, you know, looked real bad and just put, like I was saying, how the enemy trying to stop something good from happening. That's what I meant, you know, just trying to break up, you know, something good by starting something that could be shown like, oh, a situation happened up here if y'all had to protect yourselves.
Right.
You know, and then it looks like, you know, neither one of y'all from this state, y'all coming out here and starting something, and this is why black people can't do anything, you know.
Absolutely.
And so I expressed that to him. I said, especially with his wife there, that could have got really, you know, Ringo was 100% his right.
Now let me ask you, when you was explaining that to him, did he seem to be receptive of what you saying, understanding how dangerous that situation was? Did he show any signs of remorse or anything? Because you got to keep in mind that this is his friend that he was told directly not to have him show up. And if you looked at some of the live stream I did, he was warned not to have those people show up, but in the evidence that's presented, he never told them not to show up at all. In fact, it looked like he was trailing us the whole day. Did he show any remorse for what happened?
He said he was sad about what happened. It's nothing but the enemy trying to break things up. But he thought that, you know, he had never met Ringo like that. I said, well, you shouldn't have been in that. You shouldn't have had that guy around, especially if you just coming back down. I told him I didn't think it was a good idea because at first.
Now hold on, Charity. You said something key. You said he shouldn't have had that guy around. So you must have known that Rollo was planning to bring these other guys around, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that information until I saw him. Like I said, streaming live. Like I said to God chose me on the thing, streaming live everywhere you go, talking about stuff and showing where you at. And that's just not wise.
Right.
And I said that's just not wise in any sense of the word. I said, but he told me that he was sorry that happened, but he did say that he did not give up your location. The guy knew the area.
Yeah,
he showed his location, and he said the guy probably got your location because he said he knew the area. But
yeah, he's not going.
You showed.
Yep. Say that again.
Said was his receipts. Did not say anything like do not straight up, do not approach, do not come. This is not the time, and that's what should have been straight up said and acknowledged if he was being 100 on everything. And he didn't tell me that. I was just using my discernment and thinking, well, did you say that? But he never answered me.
Right.
He didn't answer me. I said, well, maybe he said he tried to reach out to Ringo, but Ringo blocked him. I said, well, I didn't know that was the first time he was ever meeting Ringo. That wasn't wise.
Right.
To do, because he don't know you like that. Second of all, his wife was there, so that just escalated the situation. And if they told you not to bring anybody around, I said, plus they were doing business all day, they were tired. I said, it doesn't look right, you're just jumping back down there and then you're telling everything you're doing while you're doing it. It didn't look, even when y'all was sitting in their chairs, and he was talking and trying to get to talk to you. I saw you looking out the window, and you was on your phone. He was. Yeah, he was. I didn't think he should have been doing that.
Right, he was doing it
too much. He
was doing it so randomly, and even at times I'm just relaxing. Like we working, handling business. He did it at the the clothing store. And it's just like from what I had ascertained from all of this, he's communicating with them, basically selling them tickets, wolf tickets, that they're going to meet up with us. And he's using social media to keep a trail on us. And we don't know what...
It can be construed that way, yes.
Right. Now, as far as the conversations he were having with them, I think it's a little more dark and sinister than what meets the eye, personally, because of the mind frame and mindset that Tate showed up with. He had real bad energy, and whatever he showed up to do, it was potentially fatal. He sounded like somebody who was on a suicide mission. He was talking incoherently. It was the most, and Ringo, he's going to be bringing out video too, but it was very bizarre. And the fact that Rollo keeps company with these bizarre people, it means something to me. I want to ask you, you already stated that he was pushing up. You told him you were uncomfortable. His hygiene was bad. He continued to be aggressive because, he kept being pushy. That's the word you use, pushy. Now, afterwards, what I want to know is, did he display any kind of weird behavior, like something strange to you that was like, all right, that's odd? Did he say anything that was odd to you?
What he said that was odd to me was that he was going to run back up there. And I'm like, that doesn't look wise. They're already out there. You just came back. You said you had contracts and business to do. You had canceled some times we were supposed to meet up just to get to know each other. But I said, I want to get to know you better before, I just don't,
Because he's online claiming that you're his wife.
Right. I found that out online myself. That's what I'm saying.
You did not give him. So let me ask you.
No, I did not.
You did not give Rollo permission to say that you are his wife for the record.
No, I did not. I don't. I told him, look, I'm trying to get to know you, but you just want. This is what I'm scared of. When I told you guys, guys just want sex, and I don't want. I thought, you were. A man of the truth, you were different, if this is the way it's going to be. I know he told me about his wife, and Jamaica or whatever. And I'm like, but I mean, how well do you know her? I'm like, I can bring you all of my medical records. I don't have anything. And if this is the way you are, and then last night, he ran a thing and he met some other girl, and I might have sounded jealous, and people were saying, so, no, she don't want to meet you. She, so she was drinking and stuff. I'm like, a real lady don't, is not aggressive. She doesn't, it's okay. Like, I learned from you, it's okay to go after what you want if you see something. But when I did meet him, my first impression was, he seems like a nice guy. His laugh is hilarious. He's a character. But, I don't have OCD to that extent. It's nothing wrong with just making sure things are, handled properly.
Right. So.
And I want to make sure I don't get anything if you're a womanizer.
Right.
And I'm not.
So.
I don't know your father's name. I don't know his age. I don't know all the stuff. I'm telling you stuff that you would think you get to know somebody, and the next thing I find out, he's putting online a picture that he was taking. I didn't know we would. And then he told me about it. I had to go see it online. My ladies, they different and all this stuff. But I didn't want to put it out online. Like, I had to tell him after the fact. I didn't appreciate that. You asked me to come in for a hug and stuff. I didn't know that picture was going to come out. I just brushed my hair up. I was getting ready to go. And just looking around at the apartment and stuff. And, I have very sensitive skin, so I had to tell him some stuff about, his hygiene and about, making sure the sheets and stuff that when I stayed at one of the rooms in the place that 1 week I stayed over. But I'm like, I'm not doing anything with you. I don't even know your mother's name, sir. And I kept saying, this is okay with,
And I don't want to get personal. So are you saying that you did abstain? Y'all. Is that what you said?
Well, he kind of pushed me into doing one thing. He kept kissing me.
I
didn't let him do a lot of things. But I didn't let him do a lot of things to me. I was uncomfortable. Plus, like I said, his hygiene wasn't on. I'm not used to.
And so, because you had you had sensitive skin and stuff like that, his hygiene was up to par. That could have been potentially bad, but. Yes, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll allow you to.
You're fine. You're fine. I understand. I think he got offended, but it didn't. Not enough to do anything about it. So I brought some things that I showed him was natural. I can send it to you. I said that might be if. I brought it up. I said maybe if New Breed vetted it could go up on newbreed.love. It's a natural black owned company. And I was saying that because I want him to use it, and help him with his oral hygiene and stuff. It's not that he doesn't wash, but I don't think he is fully. It's enough. I think some people think that smells and stuff like that come from not being clean. Some people can wash, but the odors and stuff that people exude is because they don't wash thoroughly enough or properly. Some people don't know how to wash properly or use the same rag for different parts of their body and stuff like that. But, I was uncomfortable about that. And I have very sensitive skin and smells, too. So that was aggravating me.
Right. That's because he has unclean spirits. That's because there's some things that are wrong over there.
I was asking about it because I didn't know. I said, well, he never told me that either. I asked him, okay, I don't think you should be with any woman that doesn't believe in what you're doing. That's not a good thing to build on, and it's not going to work. But I just want to know more about the person that if I decide I'm going to be with you before he called me his lady. I didn't want to ask him online.
Now let me ask you this. How did he react to you saying, listen, I want to slow down. It's certain things I would like to know about you before we get into anything or before we make things official, especially in the public. What was his reaction to, I want to get to know more about you? I don't know this and I don't know that. How did he respond to that?
Yeah, all in due time, love. He said, all in due time, love. I said, no, that's not how I work. I'm not a modern woman. I'm not fast. I mean, I literally lost my virginity to an assault at 37 years old. I mean, it's not like I couldn't have been around. I've been engaged twice. They didn't get as much as you got. And he's a big guy. And so I actually had some flashbacks to, like I'm saying, I'm hard for me to date because I don't want to associate with anybody that I'm dating anything that happened to me and blame them for it, because every man, what happened to me, that was not a man. But I mean, a man wouldn't do that. But I am still struggling to make sure that's not all they want. But his response to me saying he was moving too fast was, "This is, how we become married." So he asked me to do some things that I didn't want to do, but I was at his place, so I'm like, I was at the point.
You felt like
I'm here.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
I'm here. I put myself in this position. I'd rather just, what did I expect? So now I put myself in this position. I'd rather be more, submissive woman, and rather be a little bit more aloof and just, pretend or just to go along with keeping my, I'm not going to keep sitting on your lap. I'm not, naming your guy, but that's all he talked about.
Right.
And he came on very aggressive to me. So, but I'm like, I put myself here. So, I mean, I'd rather
I understand. You was
let him have.
Right. Go ahead.
Kind of. Only way I got out of it was about that soft boy era. I was like, well, maybe, as his breath wasn't fresh, maybe he should brush his teeth. It was the food I made or something. I blamed it on the garlic, but I actually didn't put garlic in that meal. But then he kept saying it's okay, and then he said, okay, I'm gonna wash up, and
so
yeah,
so him being a big guy, you telling him you want to take things slow. He continues to pretty much press up. His breath.
Yeah, he did.
His breath is howling, but he's Yeah, he's kissing on you, and you're feeling.
Yeah, and I literally got sick. I threw up at one point when he I told him I was sensitive to smells and stuff, and I was spraying my stuff around different things just so I could sleep because I could smell different things. And he said, well, I'm very sensitive, but I think he was more embarrassed. But I said, I try to make it in a nice way, like, I'd rather tell you this to your face than have people you walk up to and walk around because I care than people talking about you behind your back, and now, you need to handle this.
And you did the right thing. But I want to point out to how bad this is, Charity. There's multiple ways a man can, we're going to use the word grape. It's not just forced entry.
Right.
It can be intimidation and persistence. You stating this is a big guy. This is a big guy. And you're there, you're looking at it like, really, you just looking for a man of the Most High. You seeing this man affiliated with real men of the Most High.
Exactly.
So you're believing, all right, I put myself in this situation. This is a big guy. I'd rather do something or allow him to do whatever. I don't know what was done exactly, but you were in a situation where you were like, I would rather let certain things happen than it's literally forced on me to happen. And
exactly, that's exactly how it happened.
And I gotta tell you, and I know that is considered assault, because once you said to this man, I don't want to do this, I want to take it easy, I want to get to know you. That at that point, that is a no to any physical advances. He didn't oblige that. And this is all on record, y'all. This is all in the public. Like, he didn't acknowledge that. So that is a bad thing right there. And I'm so glad that you answered this call, because that kind of stuff is unacceptable. And then he's online gallivanting as if you his wife.
Right, I found that out online as well. And I talked to him about it after the fact. I said I'd rather have the option. I didn't know. And, I don't know your mom's age. I asked him about, I just found out the day before he went out there with his mom's and his parents' name was. And I was trying to explain to him what I meant by going slow. I mean, I'm telling you a lot about myself, my family, how we all have the same parents. We grew up in a household. The situation, from what he told me, he said he actually shoved the guy. So
he didn't. Listen, well, it looked as if he had his hands up. He was backing up. It doesn't look like he shoved him in. I didn't see all of that, because honestly, I got in the car and I pulled off. And all I know is when I pulled off, Tate lifted his phone up to record me as I was leaving. It's just a bad look altogether. The guy should have never been there. And Rollo seemed to have been given our location the whole entire day, and at no point did he tell those guys not to show up. And
well, I did ask him that too when he started telling me that things went bad out there, and y'all left him out there. And I was like, "Well, what happened?"
So you asked
this guy that he told him,
right?
Yes.
You asked. For the record, you asked him, "Did you tell those guys not to show up?" Or that guy not to show up. You asked him that. What was his response?
He said he told him. He said that he could probably not. They doing business today and stuff, but maybe tomorrow or something later, because he got a late flight. And I told him, well, did you blatantly tell him do not come? And he did not answer. So I said, well, he said he had receipts. All he kept saying was, I got receipts to prove. I gave their real location. I gave mine. Then I told that I was across the way. But he said y'all did videos in front of y'all location. I remember Mrs. Ringo when I laughed at that when she was had the camera out. He was like, "Oh, look at you on camera. She's so pretty."
Right.
And I was like, I didn't know that was his wife. She was gorgeous. And he said, yeah, that was his wife. I said, but that was very extra dangerous. Whatever happened, being that she was there, that just escalated things to another thing. But if you didn't blatantly say, do not show up, that doesn't look good. He said, well, he told the man, and he did tell him that he don't know if they're going to be, what's the word he used? If they're going to be down, they've been doing stuff all day, so maybe tomorrow or something like that, late tomorrow, like you were saying,
right,
might be a better time.
But when Rollo was saying that, he was alluding to the time he pulled up on us, because this was Friday when he was saying tomorrow night late, and he actually told on himself. So I know you probably seen the material, but this is just a real unfortunate situation, and I don't know what Rollo's intentions were with having those guys meet up with us. Did he discuss with you at any point of time having those guys meet up with us before all of this happened?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't. It was a rush thing for him, and he said he was going to take me along. I was like, well, I have an appointment and stuff, and I don't really think you should go back. You're trying real hard to get back out there. You just left. It's financially not a wise move. They're already out there. You just left. But he was like, no, babe, I gotta go. I got to do this. And I thought that was I was like, well, I'm not gonna, come out of my place and do stuff because, some stuff I said he dismisses, and then when they'll say, don't speak unless I told you my camera's rolling or not rolling. So I don't read disrespectful, and I didn't want to say anything that when I didn't know he was on camera, or even if he wasn't showing his face, I had to ask.
Right.
Or use my hands to find out. 'Cause I didn't want to be on camera.
Right.
I didn't know the first time that he said I was coming over, and I did a thing. all that stuff happened to me, I was kind of, I don't know if you've seen it. My hair was very disheveled. All my waves were really messy and poofy because the shower thing that I didn't anticipate. And I'm like, before I get stuck in a situation where I shouldn't did what I shouldn't have came up here alone. My initial thing was to come with my brother, because we were just gonna look at the one of the apartments he was
right.
I'm gonna rent out, and I was considering renting it. But I come back later the next week after I had some business to take care of and stuff myself because I had left, and he said I did it on purpose, but I didn't. I left my jewelry box.
Right. So he was just being pushy the whole time, and
Yeah, I'm ashamed. I don't want you to think I'm a modern woman or woman in the street.
No, it's okay.
That happened between us.
No, I appreciate.
Last week,
right.
I didn't want, and I told him so. I pushed away several times, but I can't. I'm 91 pounds.
Rallo's a big guy. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I did something I never done before, except for when I was assaulted. But I didn't want to. When somebody's grabbing your head and pulling your shirt down and stuff, I just didn't want to have a replay, so I just laid down, went along with it.
Wow.
I'm not saying he raped me or anything. I am taking the L. I shouldn't have put myself into position. And before I'm ever assaulted again, I'm like, okay, I did this, and I knew better, but I thought he was a man of the, I still think he's a man of God, but...
Well, let me inform you.
He said he never...
Right.
He hasn't been with anybody in a while, so I think that's why he was being pushy, but he's always saying he's with some girl or some woman they pulling up, and there was someone winning, and this woman, she wants me. I'm like, how could she want you? And you said hello. That's the person that hit me was.
Wow.
I've got Listerine in the bathroom.
Let me tell you, he's not a man of Yah. You thought you was looking for a husband for a while on husband. It's on my platform, Charity. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
It's public record of you coming forward saying, I want to settle down. I want a husband. We know this about you because it's on the public. What Rallo did was
I liked him.
Okay, I understand that. You liked him, but when y'all met, he had you vomiting. When y'all met, you told him you don't want to deal. You want to take things slow. He kept being persistent. So, although you might have liked him, he did something wrong. He took advantage. And that should have never happened. And then he, without your permission, got online claiming that you were his wife. You didn't want that to happen, but he did it anyway.
Well, I didn't know.
And you didn't know.
Until after the fact. And I just asked him not to, in the future do that again because I just...
You didn't want it out there.
And because I just, I didn't know, I'm still trying to get to know him. I'm like, well, this is already, I don't want to body count. He's a man, maybe, he just,
Well, just know everything is going to be okay. And, again, you stay strong, keep your head up. That's a bad situation. And I think Rallo setting us up was actually meant to also expose the deviant behavior that he displays behind the scenes. It was used for a lot, that particular moment where he pretty much set us up. So I just want to thank you for that. Tell you to keep your head up. If anytime you need to reach out via Instagram. If you got any, questions or concerns after Rallo gets exposed, because it's going to happen. I would oblige you, and I know that you might have bonded with him, and you know, I can understand that that's a soul tie for you. But I also need, I need you to also understand your first feeling about all of this, how your body was rejecting him. I need you to keep in mind that you know it was a mistake. So I would oblige you to stay away from the man. Now, I understand how soul ties work. It's no way that I can tell you what to do, but I can tell you for sure that he's not connected with us, and he has been exposed as a wicked person, a traitor, a Judas, and an individual that we don't want around, and we are totally excommunicating him, and we don't want nothing to do with him. He is not in our ranks. He's not dealing with us in no capacity. We think that.
I just wanted to believe that there was a big misunderstanding, and you know, you guys got a chance to hear him out, but I didn't know Ringo didn't know him before then. And,
no, absolutely
that was
not.
a bad look, but I thought that maybe you guys told him not to do any shows online about this and let y'all guys handle it in the house if y'all wanted to, and just see how it plays out, because that would be bad, you know, and for the community, and you know, it would just show, you know, how the enemy can sneak in and try and destroy something that's trying to be built. But that was my idea, so maybe that's why he waited 24 hours or whatever you say, to respond or say anything. I didn't.
Okay. Well, it's everything will be okay, and I'm allow you to you know, consider everything, and I want you to reach out at a later time. I got a show to finish, and I got some time constraints, but thank you for speaking with me. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Man, wow. I just got word on the news desk. I just got a text that Rollo is actually streaming with the white guy right now as we speak. Baby, what's up? Yes, I am. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we see that he has some type of connection with these people. We know what direction he's going to take. He's going to chase clout. He is clearly sold out at this point. Unsubscribe. If you want to follow that madness, you can go follow it. But it's been an exposure. It's been an exposure. How he treats women. Y'all got a first-hand exclusive interview with a woman who claimed to be, well, a woman, let me say this right. With a woman he claimed to be his wife. And you heard the type of demon that we're dealing with right here. So, with that being said, man, I want y'all to move accordingly. Man, look, for y'all watching, man, listen, just stay safe out here. A lot of devils in disguise. Y'all see what's going on, man. It's out there. Y'all be safe, man. Shalom and peace.